Good morning. As we stand on the cusp of the winter season, the air begins to carry a familiar crispness. The shorter days, the longer nights. For many cozy evenings, holiday gatherings, snow-covered landscapes. The big question: what will this winter hold? Scientists at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, have released their official outlook for the winter of 2025-26. The primary driver this year, La Niña. This forecast is not a simple guess. It is the culmination of extensive research, data analysis, and the work of climate experts. The outlook gives temperature probabilities and precipitation probabilities for December through February. La Niña often creates a distinct split across the United States. Northern U.S., colder and wetter. Southern U.S., warmer and drier. Remember what a seasonal forecast can and cannot do. It shows broad trends over 3 months. It's a roadmap for the season, not a day-by-day prediction. It can't tell you the exact date of a blizzard or the precise timing of a local cold snap. For that, use your local weather forecast. This essay will break down the national picture, explore regional impacts, and provide practical, actionable advice to help you prepare for whatever this La Niña winter brings your way. To understand the winter forecast, we first need to understand La Niña. In simple terms, La Niña is a natural climate pattern characterized by the cooling of sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. It is one part of a larger cycle known as the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO. During a La Niña event, the normal east-to-west trade winds that blow along the equator become stronger than usual. These intensified winds push more of the warm surface water toward the western Pacific, near Asia and Australia. As this warm water is pushed westward, a process called upwelling occurs along the coast of South America. Colder water from the deep ocean rises to the surface to replace the warm water that has been blown away. For North America, the most significant consequence of La Niña is its effect on the jet stream. This winter, the northern tier of the United States is expected to feel the full effects of La Niña's influence. The northward shift of the jet stream positions these regions in the path of cold air masses from Canada and the Arctic. Areas such as the northern high plains, Montana, North Dakota, are likely to see colder than average temperatures. More days where the mercury struggles to climb, with biting winds and dangerously low wind chills. The chill can strain power grids and increase heating costs for millions. The coldest band is expected from southern Alaska, the Pacific Northwest, across the northern Rockies. Colder than average means more frequent cold snaps and a persistently harsh winter. Heavy coats, insulated boots, warm hats as daily necessities. Ranchers and farmers face challenges protecting livestock and equipment. Low temperatures and wind can be life-threatening for animals, so extra shelter and feed are required. City and state road crews must be on high alert. Road treatments may be less effective, causing persistent icy conditions on highways and local streets. Some will welcome a true winter: skiers, ice fishers. For most residents, focus on safety and resilience. Have an emergency kit at home and in your vehicle. Prepare for potential outages, alternative heating sources, blankets, non-perishable food. While cold is a major part of the story for the North, precipitation is the other half of the equation, particularly for the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Rockies. The La Niña-driven jet stream is not just cold, it is also moisture-laden. As it flows in from the Pacific Ocean, it brings a steady stream of storms to Washington, Oregon, Northern California, mountainous Idaho, mountainous Montana. In lower elevations, frequent rainfall will lead to a soggy, gray season. In the mountains, abundant moisture will fall as snow. This boosts the region's water supply, and it's great for the world-renowned ski industry. The wet pattern driven by La Niña does not stop in the Rockies. The jet stream is expected to carry moisture eastward, bringing above-average precipitation to the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. For the Great Lakes, this pattern often fuels significant lake-effect snow events. As cold Arctic air flows over the warmer lake waters, it picks up moisture and heat, creating narrow, intense bands of snow that can dump several feet in a short period. Communities downwind of Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario should be prepared. Moving south into the Ohio Valley, NOAA's winter outlook shows one of its strongest signals for above-average precipitation. For states like Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, this moisture is likely to fall as rain, sleet, snow. This region has faced drought, and a wet winter could provide much-needed relief. The additional moisture will help recharge soils, replenish rivers and streams, and restore groundwater levels. But the wet conditions bring risks. Saturated ground plus snowmelt could increase river flooding risk across the Ohio River Basin. Residents in the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley should prepare for a soggy, sometimes snowy winter. Take steps to prevent basement flooding and make sure sump pumps work. In lake effect belts, have a robust snow removal plan and emergency supplies ready. In stark contrast to the cold, wet conditions in the north, the southern tier of the United States is bracing for a very different kind of winter. The same atmospheric setup that pushes storms into the northern states creates a ridge of high pressure over the south. As a result, the forecast calls for a warmer and drier than average winter across California and the Southwest, Texas and the Gulf Coast, the Southeast. For many, a milder winter sounds appealing. Residents from Dallas to Atlanta can likely expect fewer severe cold snaps and lower heating bills. However, this warmth and dryness come with significant downsides. In the agricultural sector, many fruit and nut trees rely on chill hours to properly set fruit. Peaches, pecans. A warm winter can disrupt this natural cycle, leading to reduced yields and economic losses for farmers. The lack of precipitation is an even greater concern, particularly for regions already struggling with water shortages. The Southwest depends heavily on winter snowpack in the mountains to feed river systems like the Colorado River, and is likely to see below-average snowfall. Warm temperatures plus dry conditions raise wildfire risk as spring approaches. Dry vegetation becomes highly flammable and a single spark can ignite a fast-moving blaze. Residents in these regions should focus on water conservation and fire preparedness, fixing household leaks, using water-wise landscaping, creating defensible space around homes by clearing away dry brush and flammable debris. This winter's precipitation forecast has direct and significant implications for the nation's ongoing drought situation. Currently, more than a quarter of the country is experiencing moderate to exceptional drought, making the winter months a critical period for either relief or further decline. The most promising areas for drought improvement are the Pacific Northwest, the Ohio Valley. Unfortunately, the story is far less optimistic for other parts of the country. The Great Plains portions of the central Midwest are forecast to receive near normal or below normal precipitation, meaning that existing drought conditions are likely to persist or even worsen. The highest risk for drought intensification is squarely focused on the southwest. States like California, Arizona, Texas are facing the prospect of another season with diminished water supplies. Knowing the seasonal trends that La Niña is likely to bring is a powerful tool. This knowledge allows us to move from simply reacting to the weather to proactively preparing for it. The steps you take will depend on where you live, but everyone can benefit from some basic planning. For those in the northern and mountainous regions expecting a cold and snowy winter, now is the time to get your home and vehicle ready. For residents in the southern and southwestern states facing a warm and dry winter, focus on water conservation and fire safety. Begin practicing water-saving habits now. Fix leaky faucets. Reduce outdoor watering. Regardless of your location, there are universal steps that can enhance your safety and well-being this winter. Keep a well-stocked emergency supply kit in your home. Stay informed by regularly checking your local weather forecast. Ultimately, NOAA's Winter Outlook is a guide, a seasonal roadmap based on the best available science. Cold and wet in the north, warm and dry in the south. This pattern will bring drought relief to some while deepening water concerns for others. By understanding these broad trends, you can take practical and effective steps to mitigate risks and prepare your home and family for the months ahead. Winter always brings its own unique blend of beauty and challenges. With a little foresight and preparation, you can stay safe, stay informed, and make the most of the season.